Jim Collins and Jerry Iporas wrote a book that left a very, very huge impression on me. They titled it Built to Last. While I was so passionate about the book and I loved totally everything about it, even trying to build my own organization on that precept, I found out that there is just one thing they said that lasted with me longer than any other thing, and that is the principle or the concept of clock building and time telling. In simple terms, they gave a little scenario of someone or you meeting someone who knows exactly what the time is all the time. He could tell the time. For example, if you just meet him, he can tell you, oh, the time is 5:15 p.m. or the time is 15 minutes per 6 a.m. And he could tell you everything every time, and he will be well detailed. That would be amazing, right? That would be incredible. But Jim and Porras said something amazing. They said, but wouldn't it be even more amazing if instead of telling the time, the person just went ahead and just built a time clock for you? Wouldn't that be more impressive if instead of asking him, you are very sure that anytime you walk up and look up the wall, you can always see the time? I agree with them totally. And this concept that is called clock building. This is simply talking about leaders who believe that they are everything to the organization. Everything. They want to imprint their image, imprint their picture, imprint their temperament, imprint their vision on everybody on the team. And they want everybody else to follow. Now, don't get me wrong. I know leaders are supposed to drive the engine, take everybody into the bus, and be that wonderful driver with everybody cheering him up. But what Jerry Iporas and Jim found out is that those leaders are not the leaders that build enduring organizations. Instead, the leaders that build enduring organizations are leaders who build a clock. The concept of building a clock is simply about looking at processes and principles and then building your organization using those things instead of using a certain idea or a certain charisma of a leader. Now, when we started Well of Excellence, it was just a blog. Since we were all in school, the only thing we could do was interview some of the people who we loved, who were doing what we wanted to do. I imagine how passionate I was that time, sending emails to some of my mentors, and they agree to honor the interview. And I was so excited. And I'll come, have the interview. I could take all the time and transcribe it to words, post it online. It was amazing, an experience that was giving us the vibes, the energy. Everyone was on the board. Everyone was excited. No one cared whether we were making money or not. And we were sharing the articles, sharing the links. Suddenly, something happened. Our website was hacked. Boom. And we lost everything. That was when I found out that if you are building an organization with only you projecting your image only, a time will come when the organization would have to fall. That was the time when my managing director, Nathan Tosa, came forward and said, why do you think we have to stick by that? Don't you think it's better if we just continue doing webinars online, hosting these same people live, and giving these people a first-hand experience, watching them teach, not just writing these things? And I was like, this is impressive. I love it. How can we start? And he said, we can just start hosting webinars on WhatsApp. And I said, let's do it. So we started, and many people started coming. Now, believe me, we were not making so much money. Most of the money was coming directly from my own pocket and some of my team members. But we were so graciously, we felt it was a privilege to have these people there. So even though sometimes all the money we gathered for paying certificates and all of that goes out totally for honorarium. Of course, there are some of them that say, no, you can keep the money. You are just starting, just keep the money. But many of them took the money. So we were not making any profit. Now something happened again. While we are doing all of this, we realized that we didn't have a product that we could confidently call ours. We were a personal development company who just graduated from a blog site, and we knew that we had to do something great. We realized that all the team members were already good people. They could write their own posts, they could host webinars, they could do more than just what we were doing before. And we said, well, this is a sign that we should quickly graduate into a development organization, which we did immediately. We changed the structure, we changed the website, everything we had to do, the legal registration of the business to accommodate that. And when we started that, another idea popped up. We had our first product that we were so happy and excited that was going to scale up. It was Worksdemi, an online learning and teaching website. And soon we began to have money, it began to win awards, and we began to have instructors and investors coming in. But before all of that, we were not having all of these things. Now looking back, as many people are asking me, how were you able to build this? How were you able to build this? I realized that this concept of clock building was what sustained Well of Excellence through all of this. And what I meant was that every other thing that you see in Well of Excellence was not a projection of myself. It was a projection of each and every member of the team. For example, if you just walk in now into a bank and you look up, you will see that they have something called their vision statement, mission statement written there on the wall. You could see their values or what they do. They tell you that we value you, you are our customer, we are this and that. So many people, when they start their organizations, they are really surprised or they are dumbfounded. How exactly do organizations choose these values? How exactly do organizations come up with the fact that, okay, candor, excellence, maybe accountability can work best for my organization? How do they come to accept the fact that maybe if transparency or maybe excellence is the best values that they should embrace as an organization? Now, let me tell you this. When you are building a clock as a leader, focus always on the strength of your team. I just mentioned how Nathan Tosal helped us to move from just a blog posting site to a personal development site. I just also mentioned how we gravitate through many other things to where we are right now as a company that not just is a development company but also have product in the edtech sector. But the first thing I realized was that since I wanted to build an organization that was not totally relying on who I was, I started to look at some of the values that some of my team members imbibed within themselves. Some of the values that was just easy to check within themselves. I realized that some of them are just excellent people. And because of their excellence, we were able to move from one stage to another. I realized that some of them were open, talk of candor or frankness, right? And I said, imagine if this person did not move forward to tell me what he was thinking. He would have been keeping grudges with me while I did not even know. And I said, if this guy or this lady did this, it means this is a powerful value that we could, as an organization, employ or even adopt. So I began to look at some of the team members who embodied this vision and what they were exhibiting as we were growing. And I said, okay, this is it. I am not going to build an organization that the leader always tells the time. I am going to build an organization where a clock is there. And this clock is going to be built on principles and processes. One of the processes and principles that I employ is looking at the strengths of my team and using that to build the organization itself. If someone woke up to me today and tell me that, to be honest with you, I think we're not doing the right thing, I think about it very well. And when I employ this, I see how that thing reflects on the organization. I look at, imagine if this person was not open. Imagine if this person was hiding. Imagine if these values were not out. How could we have moved, crossed this particular bridge to another one? I employ all of you. That even though it's awesome for you as a leader to be this charismatic, to have this idea that you're forcing on everyone and you're telling, come. This video is simply to let you know that there are many other things in your team right now that if you could pay attention to, you will begin to see it's just the right building blocks. It's just the right habits that you need to employ in your organization. So as a leader, the magic is not when you are always the one who calls the shot. It's not when you're always the one who say what must be done. It's not when you're always the one giving out the rules, but it's when you are willing to learn as a team. Entrepreneurs are people who are willing to learn, willing to move, willing to leave one mindset to another mindset, as long as that is what works. Are you willing to give time and attention to what works? If you're willing, then congratulations. You are already taking a step to becoming a clock builder, not just a time teller. I'll employ you to just click the button and subscribe, and then tell me what you think about this. And if you have any questions, just drop it there so that I will make another video with it.